Hi friends, in the last video I showed you how to draft a basic shorts pattern. Today I am going to show you how to sew that pattern. I'm going to cut out the pattern and then I'm going to show you how to put it together. If that is something that you are interested in, keep watching. I'm going to pin my pattern to my fabric and I'm using this fabric right here that I've had in my stash for so many years. I'm going to now put it to good use. We are going to cut out 2 pieces for your front and your back. Because our front and back are shaped differently, we're going to cut them separately. So we want to separate these two, and then we will cut the back. Let's pin this, and then we can cut her out. There are so many different ways that you can go about cutting the shorts, and I will probably show you another way in a future video. Let's get to the fun part, putting this together. I have some scrap fabric, so let me add some pockets. Let's see how much we have, and that will determine the size of our pockets. Of course, we need 4 pockets, so let's see how we're going to maneuver this. That's 10.5. Okay, so that's good. 10.5 by 8.5. Okay, so we're going to take our front and we're going to shape front of our pockets. This is the front because it's smaller than the back and less shallower. And we are going to put that behind front of our pattern. Let's pin that. And then we are going to shape our pocket. So let's create that shape. Make sure you're cutting all 2. Going to come in 3 inches. Hopefully you can see that. And we're going to come down 5.5 inches. Okay, can you see that? Yes, you can. Okay, so that is what I did. I went over 3 inches and I came down 5.5, and I'm going to cut now. I'm going to shape my pocket. Let me show you how it looks on the back. So that is my pocket. So I'm going to now take those same, and you should have 2 because you need 2 of the pocket bags and 2 of the facing. So I'm going to now take that and I'm going to shape the other 2 pockets, and then I will show you what I'm going to do next. We are going to shape them, cut around it. Okay, so that is what you should have. That is what you should have. Okay, so now that we have done that, we are now going to put our shorts together. This is the front, and we're going to take those same first 2 pieces of the pockets that we did, and we're going to put right sides together, and we're going to pin them. It should match up because it's the exact same thing that we cut. We're going to take the other one you're going to do the exact same thing. So you're going to pin, and what you are going to do is stitch 1/2 inch from here straight to the top. You're going to stitch it, and then you're going to turn it over, and then you are going to top stitch. You do 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, and you will do that for both sides. So let's take this to our machine and let's get sewing. What we're gonna do, we're gonna switch out our threads. I know this is not going to be enough thread, so I don't want to embarrass myself like that. I don't want to play myself like that. Turn the machine on, silly. Embarrassing. My thread dropped. Oh, it ran away. All right, so let's cut that. And let's thread our machine. All you have to do is just follow the numbers, the arrows on your machine, and that will tell you the steps and how to thread your machine. I have an automatic thread thing, and I don't ever use it. I'm playing Russian roulette every day when I do this. Every time. Alright, so I got it in. Let's change that. Okay, so put that in. We're going to work on the front of our pants. Make sure you take your pins out as you go. So we have our pockets stitched down. We are now going to top stitch. Top stitch to the pocket, not the pants. We'll do the same for the other side. Make sure that you have your seam towards the pocket and not the pants itself. We have our pocket top stitch. We're going to stitch right here from there straight to the other side of our pocket. So let's do that now. We'll do the same for the other side. This is the point that we are right here, and I did that for both sides. Now we're going to add the second part of our pocket. We are going to attach the second part of our pocket. So the first part that we did, this is what you should have. So we're going to attach that. Use your pins to put it together. And we're going to do this for both pockets. It should mimic the same curve because they both have the same shape. I'm going to pin the second one, and then when I'm done with that, we are going to take it to the machine and we're going to sew it. So this is what you should have. This is what you should have. So I'm going to do that for the next pocket, and then when I come back, we will take this to the machine and sew it. So let's do that now. I'm appreciating this quietness. It is very quiet. The kiddos are not out today, it seems. Okay, so let's go to our machine. Let's sew that. At this point, you should have your pockets in place. I'm going to take my pinking shears and I'm going to finish that off for both of the pieces. If you have a serger, obviously you can use your serger. This is just for a cleaner finish, that's it. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to stitch right here to hold that in place, and we're going to stitch right here to hold that in place. So I'm going to do that for both. Make sure you could still see what I'm doing. Okay. Because sometimes my camera does what it wants to do. So I have to keep checking to make sure that you guys are still in frame. Alright, so we'll do that, stitch that now, about a 1/4 inch from the top. Please be nice. Be nice to me today. There we go. Okay, so now you should have an actual pocket, like I said earlier. You should have a pocket. That's the back of it. Okay, we are going to pin the front and the back together. I'm going to stitch our 2 front seams together using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and we will do the same for the back. Let's pin it together. For my beginners out there, have any of you tried to sew anything as yet? Let me know down in the comments. Or if you plan on sewing, for those persons who do sew, let me know if you have sewed anything together. And this is how it should look. So we're going to put the back together as well. I had a serger. This, I would have been finished a long time, but my serger is not working at the moment. So, because the serger makes things so much faster. But it's a blessing when we have these things, because when we don't have it, and for me who always had it, like sometimes I have even a greater appreciation for it, because not everybody has a serger. And now that I don't have my serger, I really miss my serger. So we have to be grateful when we have things. So when we don't have it, we'll have a greater appreciation. Okay, so let's sew that. Back stitch at the beginning and at the end. Ever since my students call my hands sausages, I'm making sure that I keep my sausages out of the way. Now that both of them are stitched, I'm going to trim it down to about 1/4 of an inch with my pinking shears. So I'm going to do that now. And then when the next thing we are going to do is we're going to stitch up our side seams. For some reason, I feel like eating a seafood boil. Boy, oh boy, I am craving a seafood boil. And when I say craving, that's just what I'm feeling like eating. My daughter and I were talking about seafood boils so this morning when I was dropping out of work. So now I want a seafood boil. So now that we have our side seams pinned, and I'm going to stitch both of them. Now that I have both of my side seams hemmed, I'm going to now hem my crotch seam. So let's do that. Make sure it's aligned properly. And let's put a pin there. Just make sure that everything is aligned properly. We are going to stitch the crotch, and we are going to stitch from one side of the crotch to the end, and we're going to come back to the crotch and stitch from the crotch to the end. So let's do that now. I'm going to trim that down with my pinking shears to about 1/4 of an inch. Then I want you to go try on your pants, and then we will do the final touches, which will be the waistband as well as the hemming of the pants. So do that. I'll be back to show you the next final steps. All right, so let me cut this black off so I can use this black for my waistband, and that will tie in the whole pants. So now I am going to attach my elastic to the pants, and this is my waistband. So I'm going to stitch 1/2 inch the two pieces together. Now I'm going to attach this to my pants. So just keep pinning around until you get to the other part. I'm going to take this to the machine, and I'm going to stitch with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I accidentally cut my band a little shorter than I would have liked, so it is not as wide as I need it to be. So I'm going to stitch with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance as opposed to a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then we will have one more step, and that will be to hem our pants. So let me hurry up do that because I don't want this video to be too long. So it depends on how long this video is. I will do that off camera. Okay, so let's sew that now. 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Hi, this is Editing Catherine, and I just wanted to apologize for not showing you the finishing touches in my sewing tutorial on the shorts pattern. I lost my footage for the band, running the elastic through the casing, and hemming the shorts, but I will show you that in another video. Bye! And just like that, I have created a simple pair of shorts that I can add to my wardrobe. I created this pair of shorts from the pattern that I would have drafted the video before this. I will link that video in the description below. This is the front of my shorts, and this is the back of my shorts. And the shorts came together so simple. If you like my content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you anything. Share my videos with your family and your friends and all those persons who love sewing. Simple sewing. Turn on your notifications so that you won't miss any time I drop a new video. I will see you in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.